Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for H3Bomb's clown take of the week?
And here we have yet another example of someone who only uses the King James Version Bible but does not understand what the King James Version language is talking about. And so they have a complete and utter clown take on something. He's reading from the book of Revelation. He says, there are a number of reasons that I know for a fact that full preterism is wrong. I agree with him there. I don't agree with full preterism. I think there's some prophetical things that still need to happen. But this verse is definitely not the dunk on preterism that he thinks it is. Most glaring one, he says, of all is this prophecy in Revelation, the seventh and final angel, the last trump, is when time is declared end. So he's reading verse 6 here, and it says, swear by him that liveth forever and ever, who created the heaven and things that therein are, and the earth and things that therein are, and the sea and things which are therein, that there should be time no longer. But in the days of the voice of the seventh angel, when he shall begin to sound, the mystery of God should be finished, as he hath declared to his servants the prophets. So he literally thinks that this means that time itself, the phenomenon of time, is going to stop, because it says there should be time no longer. Now, someone reading the King James Version Bible in 1611, someone walking around in 1612 reading this would have understood completely what it's actually saying. But someone in 2025 trying to read back into what language it was talking about back then would come up with a clown take like this. Same kind of clown take with someone who thinks that Jesus and his disciples ate corn on the cob in the fields with unwashed hands, because they don't understand what the 1611 King James language is talking about. It's just another example of ignorance of people that were taught to read only the King James Bible, never study any commentaries, never study any other versions, never study Greek, never study anything but the King James Bible, and to come out with a hillbilly education on what things mean. This is how you ended up with the Schofield Reference Bible, to be honest. You had a bunch of hillbillies with a King James Bible that had no clue what they were reading, coming up with stuff that's completely nonsensical and idiotic. That's how you ended up with dispensationalism to begin with. What the verse is actually saying is this. An angel swore an oath by the eternal God, the creator of heaven, earth, and sea, declaring that there will be no more delay. That's what it's talking about. There will be time no longer, as in, without any further ado, the mystery of God is going to be finished right now. It's saying that there's no more delay between now and when the mystery of God is finished. Not that time itself is going to stop. I mean, for goodness sake, there are a bunch of other stuff in the book of Revelation, a bunch of other events that happen after this. So how can a bunch of events happen with there's no time? If time doesn't exist, how are bowls of God's wrath being poured out if time stopped existing a long time ago in the timeline here? There will be no more delay. It doesn't mean time ends at that moment. This is how people end up with the stupid, idiotic doctrines they end up with, because they fail to study anything further than what their nose shows them. We need to get out of this hillbilly idea that we can just pick up a King James Bible in 2025 and read it with our 2025 sensibilities and come up with any kind of sound doctrine without learning what other good men of God have taught us for the past 2,000 years, without learning any other languages, without reading any other Bible versions, but just reading a King James Bible, which is written in archaic language that we don't understand. Don't be a clown.